Welcome. Oh, I hit that twice. It beat me to it. Welcome back to another episode of I don't know what we're calling this vlog. I still haven't come up with a name for it yet.
I think that's an excellent name right there. I don't know what we're calling this vlog.
There you go. Sorted. We're done. Named by Legion. But as you can see, I'm not on my Jack Jones anymore. I've got a special guest with me. Steve, you're on this side, that side. Legion Vapes.
One of the sides.
He's over here or over there. How's it going, mate? You good?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I've got a couple of coffees in me. I'm about ready for a couple more, but we'll wait. It's been a good morning so far. It's still early.
He's in the future, so mate, he can tell us what's to come. So before rain, yeah, tell me about it. Rain and snow. Yeah. But before we get started, what are you vaping on, mate?
I have a bunch of things, nothing hugely exciting. I've got the Helheim, not the 5, but the original on the Lost Vape Ursa. That's it, the Ursa. It took me a minute to remember what it was. In there, I've got some Franken-Atticus. Can't remember what that is. Mandarin and lime. It's actually quite nice. I've got the new in my house. This is the Hadron Light from Steam Crave. That's actually a killer kit. That's going to be my next review. And in there, I've got a little bit of mocha coffee from the Vaping Fossil, which is an Australian company. Really nice liquid. Nice, not overly sweet, not overly creamy, just a nice punchy coffee. I like that. And last but not least, the most fancy of them, the Eris from Vicious Ant, which is a little rebuildable. It's basically a rebuildable pod mod. You got the pod, pops right off, build your coil, pop that on. Try not to make a mess like I did earlier, which is why the sides are all sticky. And in there, I've got some Goose Hunt, which is not really available anymore, but I've got about, I think, 10 bottles sitting there. This was a advocacy fundraising effort in Australia last year, and it's a sugar cookie, a caramel sugar cookie. It's really, really nice. And the longer you let it steep, the better it gets.
It looks like it's gone very dark.
it has, but it's good, especially with the coffee.
I love a good steep liquid. So what are you drinking on?
Black coffee, straight up.
I would have a black coffee, but it's 9:30 at night and I ain't going to sleep if I have a black coffee. Oh, we got Chris Doyle and Mallory. We got quite a few people in chat today. Yeah. I'll jump into mine. I found a liquid that I haven't tried. Well, I used to love it when I first started vaping, but it's by Blended. It's a Sapodilla with strawberry and watermelon. Fuck knows what a Sapodilla is.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the hell is Sapodilla?
I have no idea. If you look at the picture, it's got like, I'm guessing, which way am I going? That little thing there, I'm guessing that's what it is because I don't know what that is. Because that's not a strawberry or a watermelon. But whatever it is.
I have to Google that now. Sappadilla.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Sappadilla Soap Company?
Fruit. So whatever it is.
All you find is soap.
Soap. Well, it's soap.
So you're making on soap.
They've got another one which is blood orange and mangosteen, which I don't know what a mangosteen is, but I'm guessing it's a mango.
It's German mango.
Oh, there you go. But this company's lovely, really sweet, and I'm vaping that on the Nightmare 25 on the Denali, which I'm loving this Denali. If you're looking to get a Denali, it's a lot fucking smaller than you think it is.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be big, and it turned up in this little box. I was like, I think they've already sent me half of it.
They're tiny, tiny little things. They are.
But they hit hard, though. They're good.
But that's kind of the way of vape, though. Like, were you like that in the beginning? Oh, did you go to stores at the start when you first began, or did you go online? Because I live regionally, so I would watch reviews, and I would go, that looks good. I'll order one of those. I'd go online, I'd order it, and sit and wait. Well, it turns out, the box is small. I'm like, how the fuck do you put a coil in there? Fitting it in. It took me like a good 2 years to learn to judge the size of things on screen, because we all do it. It's like extreme close up in the build section, and you get it. You're expecting like a dinner plate, something right in your mind. You're expecting, and it's just like 20 mils. It's like tiny.
It's like when you get into bridges. Like I know you've just got your pulse.
Yeah.
You watch YouTube videos. That's gonna be easy to build, and you're like, fuck, I can't even see that. Just like, your magnifying glasses on to see it. But when I started vaping, I went into a shop for my first time, and then I dual used for a little bit, and then I went online, and everything was different. Like I got an RDA, and I thought it was going to be pretty large, and it turned up to be like this little 22 mil deck, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I went out and bought a massive pair of 3 mil coils. He's like, that's not going to fit. Yep. But also vaping on the LG Stormtrooper Abyss with the ether bridge in it, which is lovely.
Nice.
That ether bridge is outstanding. And in that, I've got my last bit of Lubriderm from Blue Buddha Vapes. I've got the Molan bridge on the billet box. In that, I've got Banana Man. Got a Banana Man. And then lastly, the ether on the Odin 100. And in there, I have... Where's my little bottle? Well, it's called Yoda Blood, which is like a lemonade.
I'm just imagining a factory with Yoda strung up with chains and them just milking him.
Oh, you want to milk him? No, this is blood, not milk. It's not Yoda milk. You can get Yoda babies, which is kind of odd. It's like a weird coloured liquid, and that's like it's like a Fuji apple lemonade, which is really nice. Yeah. But considering I only bought them when I first got into MTLs because they were on sale for £1. Fucking great. So I ended up buying about 20 bottles. Just got these little 10 ml bottles, but they're great in the ether. And because it's that late at night, drinking some water.
Stay hydrated. It's very important. I got to say that is one of the things that I am most jealous of you and anyone in the UK. Just the plethora of venues, stores, shops, both online and real life. Like you can walk into a shop and it's like, this is old stuff, just marked down. This is all our new stuff. Like I know not all your shops are going to be great, but you have a lot of them. Like I've actually helped someone out. They were looking for something, and I went looking for a map. I put in their postcode, and it said vape shops near them, and it was just like, it's like you live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, just way off in the hills somewhere, and you have like 30 shops around you. And then I went to my address, and I went vape shops near me. Of course, I live New South Wales, middle of Australia. I live regional, so I'm not even city. And at that time, it was a 6-hour drive to the nearest store.
Oh,
you guys.
See, at my house, I've got in walking distance 5 that I can go to. 3 of them are like dedicated vape shops. The rest, it's very much an English thing. You find them in phone repair shops at the back. So they hire out the back of they rent out the back of their shop. And it's just got a little vape shop at the back. So it's great. But at work, on one street, there's over 50 vape shops. Every other shop is a vape shop.
That's excessive.
But the problem is, especially because I work in central London, all the shop prices are completely different. You can buy a bottle of Nick in one for £1. You go down the road, you get another one for £5. So
you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, you can. The only problem is you can't get like cotton bacon or wicking materials. It's all bottles of liquids, and you won't find ones that sell coils. It's all like the sub-ohmic tank stuff you'll find.
Yeah.
So if I don't take wicks, a pack of cotton bacon to work with me, and I need to re-wick, I'm fucked. Unless I ask someone I work with for a tampon.
There you go.
It's just the closest that's probably about the closest I can get to any sort of wicking. But yeah, round there's vape shops everywhere, and the sales are great. My mate's shop, that helped me get off cigarettes for the second time. You can try all these liquids on the wall. It's just all these liquids and the little test, and then a bottle at the front, and They have a little Wasp Nano, just a single coil. Oh, can I try that? Dribble it. They go. You take one of the little rubber Gorilla, you know, the old squidgy drip tip things.
Yeah.
Get one of them, try it. And no. Can I try that? You could be in there for hours.
Yeah, that's something we did have a little bit of that in some of our stores, but yeah, I think even before COVID, they cleared that out. They started putting things behind counters. I mean, in Australia, you really have to plan quite a bit. It's like, when am I going to run out? How much stock do I have on hand of my own stuff? And then it's like, order online. How long is it going to get delivered? I mean, even with the nicotine, you mentioned you go to the shop. Here's a bottle for $1. Here's or a quid. Here's one for £5. I mean, here it's like I have to order from overseas. So there's even more. It's a lot of planning. You got to stay on top of things.
Yeah, because you won't just say, oh, I need a 10 ml bottle. You'd have to buy
you buy from overseas, so you may as well make the shipping worth it.
Yeah. So where with me, and I know a lot of English people, you would just get, oh, I need 3 ml in 3 milligram in that, so I need 2 bottles, and that they generally most of the shops will do it for you. So you go, oh, can I have that in 6? And a lot of shops, if you buy it from a proper vape shop, they won't charge you for the nicotine.
Oh, nice.
Because it's so. Go on.
I guess it's just like an add-on service.
Yeah, or they'll just give you the next. So I just got to put my laptop on charge.
No worries.
It's always something I forget. One sec. Right, we should be back. See, this is what happens. Welcome to my show. There's always that. Yeah, so you generally don't have to pay for nicotine.
Well, this is kind of what we're working for here. I mean, it's going to take a while, but just that it's not medicalized. It's accepted and understood as harm reduction, but it's still, because there's a balance when we advocate. We want it to be understood as harm reduction, as a way of shifting away from bad habits and doing harm to ourselves. But we also want to maintain it as a consumer product and it's very, very misunderstood when it comes to the sort of medical or organizational side of things, why this works. And a lot of it is that consumer fun. You can flavor chase, you can collect devices, the way they look, going shopping and being able to pick and try random stuff. All that stuff ties into a lot of why vaping is effective.
Oh, I mean, if you find something for everyone.
Yeah, if you strip it down to its basic medical proponents, a battery, a coil, e-liquid in a suspension, and throw some mint or menthol in there, just this basic thing, you could medicalize it and you could just prescribe it, just hand them out, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as effective. It's all the other stuff that adds to it that really helps people quit. And a lot of times I talk about distraction. We're distracting ourselves from our urges, our habits, our bad behavior. We're keeping our minds and hands busy. And that could be, making doors, making coils, re-wicking, whatever it is.
Yeah, over here, we have a really weird issue when it comes to vaping. Like, obviously, it's accepted over here. You see 90-year-old Doris walk down the road with a little smoke tank puffing away. And she's in the vape shop talking to a 20-year-old guy about, oh, I want to try mango liquids, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But what the issue we have is that I've had people ask me, oh, my daughter wants to vape. Can you give me a hand sorting out liquids? Like, what can I do? What devices? I was like, okay, well, how many cigarettes did she smoke? Oh, she doesn't smoke. She's going to vape zero nic. It's safe, though, so it's fine. That's the issue we have.
Yeah.
Where people think it's perfectly safe to vape. Where it's 95 or 97% safer. It still doesn't mean it's safe. You're inhaling something. So it's not good. So I'm like, don't do it. Don't get it to do it.
And it is a tricky thing because on the one hand, yeah, we don't want to damage the journey that we're taking. We don't want to damage the industry. We want to keep this viable. We don't want to provide any sort of negative ammunition to those that are fighting it. On the other hand, yeah, it's not 100% safe, but nothing is.
No.
And you wouldn't really encourage your teen to drink excessively. But when they hit a certain age, every parent, have a beer. Just as long as you're in my house, have a beer.
My mum and dad used to do it.
Yeah. And so it's not safe, but it's much, much safer than people picking up tobacco. I was thinking about that. It's like 30 years, 40 years from now, where do we want this to be? Personally, and I was going to say off the record, but here I am on camera. So
yeah, say.
Personally, if vaping took over and the world was as in love with vaping as they were with smoking in the 50s, if it was just that accepted, I personally wouldn't have an issue with that. I'm like, people do stuff for fun and they enjoy it, and it's not safe, but that's life. People are okay to go, like, it's okay to take your 16-year-old and say, okay, here's $250 or 250 quid. That guy in that plane, he's going to push you out. He's going to fly you up. He's going to push you out, and you're going to learn how to parachute. It's okay to do that. It's not safe. That's far less safe than them picking up a vaping habit. But we're okay with that. People do all sorts of things. I mean, life is not sitting wrapped in cotton wool on the shelf.
Definitely not.
So it's a tricky thing.
Yeah, and we see a lot of people complaining about like teenagers, because in the UK disposables are massive. Because and the English guys will tell me in chat, will agree with me, most of us are fucking lazy. They don't want to be sitting there fucking rebuilding. They want something to pick up. 90% of people that vape disposables are taking them to the pub. So they go to the pub, fuck it, they'll buy 2 or 3. You can pick them up for £2 down the road. And just while they're at the pub, they'll just puff away on it so they don't have to smoke on the night out. And then it just goes in. That's it. But we're having teenagers vaping disposables that used to smoke, and they've just gone on to disposables, which is that's a lot better than smoking. But then a lot of people don't understand, like, obviously, the nic salt side of it and the strength of nicotine that they're inhaling, and they're doing 1 a day. So I know a kid where I work, and he's 15, and this kid used to smoke more than me, and I've known he smoked since he was 11, and he's doing 1 disposable a day.
Which is roughly, I mean, if we're talking 50 milligram, that's roughly a pack a day.
No, yeah, and it's you see, mate, you maybe want to be just ease off a little bit on that disposable. Yeah. But it tastes nice. I can't. It doesn't give me. It gives me a headache every now and then. Like, means you've had too much nicotine, mate.
Yeah,
but that's the issue that we're having in the UK. So we've got a lot of people selling to underage kids. So we've got the UK Vaping Association that goes out with like trading standards, which is like they go into the shop and do test purchases and that, and the amount that they're fining people for just handing them out because they didn't think it's safe.
Yeah.
So we've got to do a different sort of educating than like you guys and the Americans are doing. I feel sorry for the Americans. Like, I don't.
Things in the last 5 years, it's weird because it used to be like, from our perspective way down here, we'd look at it and go like, America's great. America's awesome. They've got this open market and they've got all this new stuff coming out all the time, and there's shops everywhere, and it's just free and open. Yes, there's negative side fighting it, but they're holding their ground. And the UK is great, but it's smaller and it's different, and they've got a positive spin on things. So we always look at the UK as being, better overall. And just in the last 5 years, I've seen them go past you and then past us. Like things are so bad there that I know the world thinks it's weird that we have prescriptions here now. I would much rather have that than because the prescription is national. It's a flat thing and it's understandable, and there's people who still don't get it. But it's there and it's navigatable.
Yeah,
and it kind of stops things getting worse while we're fixing or working on getting things better. Whereas the States, it's like every county, every town, every state, everything's different, and they're just throwing out like 80% tax increase. Boom. Okay, this state has that, and that state next to it, they have a complete ban, and this town over here in this state. It's got a 70% tax increase, but only within that town. But the state it's like, how the fuck do you know where to go and what to do?
Or you can only vape tobacco flavors.
Yeah.
Well, if you think it's bad for me, why am I still allowed to vape tobacco?
Because and that point of understanding that tobacco is just a flavor. It's not a tobacco product. It's I could put in chocolate, I could put in vanilla, I could put in cotton candy or grape, or we could put in tobacco. They're all just flavorings. It doesn't matter. It's like some of the laws that I've seen proposed where they've had to go back. Someone's whispered in their ears, like, no unflavored vapes, just tobacco. It's like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Tobacco is a flavored vape. Well, no, that's what they taste like, right? You see this, it's like they're masking. They're trying to appeal to kids by masking the harsh tobacco flavor with candy. It's like, no. If you put grape bubble gum on top of tobacco, you would just have vomit. It would just be horrible.
Yeah. It makes no. The only thing that I agree with, that I think that should have been jumped on a lot sooner, was like the logos on the bottom, the bottles. They got to a point where they were very like, some of them look like old cereal boxes. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of the way that was done, I can understand why people thought it was advertising kids, but we're just big kids at the end of the day, and we're going to go to stuff like that. Oh, shame! I want it.
I kind of halfway agree with you on that. I mean, the thing is, there's reality, what should be, and then there's the compromises that we need to make to survive. So I completely agree with the industry pulling things back and more adult branding and behavior, because we don't want to give the other side ammunition. And I also agree with being careful about IP theft, whether or not you really respect it or not. Just don't take the logo from a cereal box and just slap it on your bottle with no changes. That's their property. Don't use that. Yeah. I don't want anyone using My Legion Vapes logo on unofficial product. They don't want us using theirs on theirs. That's fine. But the childish appeal thing of stuff, and like you said, we're all big kids. I mean, you're not going to find you turn on like I got stupid movies. I got Pops. Where are they? Is Pops there? I got a little beardy guy over there. I mean,
I've got one here. I've got Ghostbuster.
I mean, you tune into Grim Green, and he gets the most excited if someone sends him like a Star Wars butt plug or a bottle opener or something, because he fucking loves Star Wars like a 5-year-old. He's just like so excited about it. We are, and so I think where a lot of this started was a bit of nostalgia too. It's like Game Boys and Pokemon, which they weren't selling to kids who couldn't give a shit about all that stuff at that point. They were selling to adults who'd grown up with that. So it makes sense. We appeal to our childish side. We appeal to our fun side. And again, what I said earlier is that a lot of that is what makes this work.
Oh, massively,
That's where I was going to say, that's where that whole market of, maybe Anakin can't get away with putting pop culture people on their devices. Anakin probably shouldn't do a Spider-Man themed box, but all those little sub companies, the smaller ones that can do independent, like one-off themed doors and stuff, that's where they fall in, because you can get away with that. On the other hand, should we be hand checking those?
I know what you mean, but then you had the pod that was in the shape of a minion. Don't know if you saw that. But then they had the RTA a couple of years ago that was a Dragon Ball from that Dragon Ball Z show. Like, I never watched it. I know that Jay's in chat and he loves Dragon Ball Z, and it would be something right up his street. But you knew if that come out like this year or last year, they'd be like, "That's for kids." It's really not. And then is it really down to parenting? Because if you think about it, when we talk about the logos on the bottles, they changed our cigarette packages, and it's just got like people having operations, someone with like a gammy foot, or there's a picture of a dead baby. Like, oh, if you smoke around your baby, it will kill it. Everyone's still smoking.
Yeah,
you just don't look at it. So it's sort of that. It's like that weird catch. You try and do shit, and
it's. I'm not going to say it's an unwinnable argument, but there's this whole thing where it's just assumed that this side of things just belongs to kids, like 10 and under. That all belongs to them, and if you're an adult and you're into that, there's something wrong with you. is the impression that they try to give. Like they say, you know, blue raspberry, it's trying to appeal to kids. Well, like, no, adults like flavors.
Yeah.
Star Wars, it's just to appeal to kids. So like, no, fucking adults are obsessed with that shit as much as anyone else. I mean, I don't get it. I want to actually go. I seriously would love to go, like find the head of PAVE in the States and go to her house. And I would love to shadow her for a week and just every time there's something with flavor, I want to smack it out of her hand. So that's for kids.
Yeah.
And she sits down, she turns on the TV. No, that TV show, that's for kids. Watch the fucking news. You know,
no Pop-Tarts for you.
You know, just watch documentaries in the news. That's all you get. And you know, gets a cute little skirt. That's too young for you. You to the floor, skirts to the floor because you're an adult now. Business suits for men. That's it. That's all you get to wear. Business suits and overalls, but not like cute ones. Just like really dirty, grungy workman ones. Because adult stuff. I want to follow them and just keep them on the path that they proclaimed. This is what adults like, and all that other stuff's for kids. And just note down and market exactly how much they interact or engage with child-friendly stuff.
I think they're at the point where they don't understand what they're fighting for in the end, because it's ridiculous.
I have theories on that. I have theories on that. They used to, like, go way back. They used to be very, very concerned. A lot of people smoked, and health damaging effects of smoking became known, became spread, and they were concerned. And they wanted. There's a little bit of a Karen-esque mentality of I'm going to go out and tell other people what they should do. That exists there. But aside from that, they just wanted to do good. Just like a lot of people in the world, they want to do good. They want to reduce the amount of people, and like us, like our community, you'll find that if you're going back in time, a lot of them, you know, I lost my dad to cancer. He smoked until the last day, and so now I'm ardently anti-smoking, and I'm going to do what I can to stop other people from going through what I threw. No kid should lose their parent at 15 to cancer. So I'm going to go out there and fight. So I'm attributing them with a lot of good intentions, and then the organization grows, and of course it is a popular quest, so it gets some funding, it's some money, it gets a full-time office with some people that work there full-time, and it becomes more institutionalized. And then all of a sudden along comes this thing that's like effective, enjoyable, very, very successful. Its growth rate is just through the roof, and it has nothing to do with them. And if you're sitting there looking at that going, if I just plot that growth rate at this point, we are out of a job.
Yeah.
we got to find something else to complain about, because and you'll also find that at the same point they stopped saying smoking and they started saying nicotine. The whole rhetoric, the whole attack. And yes, I said this to someone the other day, and he pointed out that they've been pointing out the negative effects of nicotine or demonizing it for years, which is true. But the major force of the attack was that smoking was bad, smoking will kill you, smoking related illness, all this, don't smoke, all that sort of stuff. And now when you look at it, it's nicotine. And that's because when you spin that argument just at 45 degrees, then you can start pulling in vaping, and you can pull in snus, and you can pull in heated tobacco and all the other harm reduction methods that are out there, because they contain nicotine. And it's like I said, they don't see the difference, or let me rephrase that. They know there's a difference, but they don't really care because the rhetoric and the propaganda works for them.
Yeah. And I think when the whole Marvel thing come out, that was fucking mental. You would never see it in this. I don't think you'd ever see it in the UK. Like, they're taking up the Beano and the Dandy. You probably remember that.
Yeah.
and just turning it anti-vaping. It wouldn't fucking happen.
Can you imagine Dennis the Menace and Nash are walking down the street?
Fucking
awesome. No.
It wouldn't happen. Because we still have a lot of English shows where people will smoke cigarettes on or during the show. Like the prime one is EastEnders, the old dear in that. She's a heavy smoker anyway, and she will smoke in the show. You watch old films, TV shows, everyone's smoking. Now it's equal vaping. So people vape in the shows where you don't get that really in the US.
In the US, like I've noticed that, like, because we were talking before, I watch way too much shit. And having grown up half on either side, I watch a lot of British stuff. And so yeah, I've noticed the difference. Like if you see British, someone's vaping, it's someone vaping. If it was filmed 10 years ago, they'd be smoking, and it's just the way it is. They're vaping now. And if you watch an American show, it's, oh, someone's vaping. Look, they're vaping. You know how you can tell they're vaping? Because they're a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's the bad guy. He's vaping.
It's the one holding the machete.
And offer it to the kid. You know, it's always either they're a bad guy, or the inverse is really good show. I love the show across the board, except for this one really bad bit, and it was set like 20 years in the future, and they can upload people's brains when they're about to die into a virtual world. And but of course, only the wealthy can afford the nice one. Poor people get the really, really shit one. And if you're really poor, you just die and you're gone. And this woman, the main character, her dad is in hospital. He's in the vaping ward. Like they show it going down the hallway, and there's like two signs, like cancer this way, vaping that way. And he's on, and it's like, yeah, my dad, he quit smoking with vaping back when they thought it was good for you. And I'm just like, and then this becomes like the underlying theme that she wants to raise money so that her dad can go to the good uploaded place. I was like, why do you have to do that? Like, why do you have to not? I mean, it's everything else about the show was like humorous, but thought out. Like, here we are now, and this is what we know about it, and here's the logical point where that would go 35 years from now. Let's make it a little bit extreme, and we'll make fun of it. But this was just like, here's the propaganda from now. Let's take no time or effort to look into it, and let's just run with that. And it's just like,
it makes you think who topped up the fund, doesn't it? Really.
It does.
It's mad because you'd never get it in this country, because we're now giving. Well, we haven't started yet, but we're going to be giving e-cigarettes. So it'll be like little disposables and stuff on the NHS to people that want to give up smoking.
So I saw that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, apparently there is two vape shops in the hospital. I haven't personally seen them. I don't know where they are, but it was on BBC News about a year ago or so. But
that one shop, the first one to open up, it's mythical. There's like 4 pictures that I think the news guy took on the day the article was written, and you see them. They pop up in memes everywhere.
Yeah,
like all around the world. Like here we've got this, but in the UK, it's just.
But no one knows where the fucking shop is.
Nobody knows. Like whoever owns that shop is like, could someone not just put we could do with the sales. I know we're in a hospital, but we only have so much walk by traffic. Please publish our address so we can get more.
We should make it like an English pilgrimage.
Yeah, you gotta make a pilgrimage there and like support them.
Yeah. But yeah, I fuck knows where that shop is. Everyone keeps saying to me, like, I know a lot of the Americans are like, oh yeah, you've got them in hospitals. Like, apparently, not in my hospital.
What you do have though is hospitals that are implementing complete no smoking on grounds bans, but providing vaping areas and signs that are like don't smoke here, but you can vape over in that corner, which is a big shift from what the rest of the world is doing.
My local hospital, it's no smoking on the whole premises, but you can vape as long as you're not underneath a window.
See,
which is fine.
Which is great, and that's a huge shift. I mean, the thing is, it's always been an issue for patients, especially medium to long stay patients. You've got to have it. You've got to have it, and you want to exercise it, and you're stuck there with your ass hanging out and your little gurney with the IV thing, trying to find a corner to smoke. And that's always been a thing. And it's like, I guess for the last 30 years ago or so, hospitals have been sort of fighting, like the do no harm concept that doctors have says, well, we shouldn't let them smoke on the ground. That's going to hurt them, even if it's in the long run. So we shouldn't allow that. But taking away someone's own chosen habit that helps them deal with their anxiety and their stress, forcing someone to go through withdrawals, that's harm. So they've always been like, what do we do? What do we do? So
you go to the hospital and all the doctors are fucking standing out with everyone else having a puff because I don't want to say the UK don't care, but they're just more accepting. Like, if you're going to smoke, just don't blow it in my face. See, I was very much, I didn't vape outside. When I'm at work, I don't vape around other vapors or smokers. I go and stand in the corner because that was what I was like when I smoked. Yeah. I smoked for years. My mum never saw me smoke. So I'd always cup it in my hand and I'd hold it and have a little one and blow it way away. Because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than walking down the road. I've had it many times, and someone blows a huge plume, and you're just like, "Fuck, mate! Seriously, you're taking a piss. You're going to lose your teeth if you do that to the wrong person."
Yeah. I've talked about it before. I actually have a video on it about etiquette, and just the idea that blow down, blow away, stay away from people if you can. You don't bring out your stacked mech mod and your goon built at 0.07 dual coil. Like, you're not walking around with that. It's just I'm walking around the mall, just looking at shirts. Oh, babies are us. Let's go in there. Yeah, no, you're not. That's kind of ridiculous behavior, and there is a bit of a line, just in terms of being considerate around other people.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of it, especially in the UK, where people just like we have so many vapes. So when you go around, someone's vaping strawberry, but you can't see it because especially the older generation are on the I always call them like the starter kits.
Yeah,
the little thin tanks, just pocketable, and they just going down the road, took it away, tiny little vape, and then you get like the younger generation, like mid-20s. It looks like you're fucking standing behind Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's just fucking plumes of fucking smoke. Oh, mate, seriously? And you wonder why people get pissed off at us.
If you're in your 20s, I mean, I can understand. I probably wouldn't have been any different if I was in my 20s.
A little bastard in my 20s.
I can understand the the impressive cloud. I mean, I still enjoy that physically. I enjoy that. I do that at home. But if I was in my 20s, I'd be like, it's my world. I'm 20. I'm immortal. It's my fucking world. And, eventually you get a little bit of that knocked out of you, I guess. But
I was always very weird, especially when in my 20s smoking. I never smoked around anybody, especially when I hate going in smoking areas. It's just like the condensed of smoke. I'd always go out. I'd go past the queue and go around the corner, have a smoke, and then come back.
I was never like that. Like, I'm happy to smoke around other people, and all my friends smoked. I guess again, you're adding, like, I won't even say how many years before you. So around people.
Not that
many. We're talking decades, my friend.
I just got a baby face. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I think I got about 2 decades on you, my friend. Yeah.
Maybe not quite.
Well, you're 30 something.
5.
Yeah, I got 2 decades on you.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm 54 this year.
Yeah, that's not that. That's like the new 30s now, isn't it? They were saying.
Yeah. Except I'm fat and my blood pressure's through the roof. Back hurts. Yeah, except for all of that. Yeah. But like I was saying, when I was younger, like smoking around friends and stuff was fine. But when it came to like smoking areas, it wasn't that the ash can smelled or anything, but it was just like, more often than not, I just wanted peace. I just want a quiet moment. Like, if I'm at work and I want to go out and smoke, I don't want to stand, because invariably, like, you go there and you don't know anyone, but they all want to chat. It's like, no, I don't really want to chat right now. I'll continue around to the next corner. Somewhere. You guys have hogged the dry spot. I'm going to go stand in the rain, try and cup this thing. But yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Trouble Buddy. He's 50 today.
Are you? Happy birthday.
He's
and
the
hey,
one
boy,
who,
57 next month.
he's the one that makes the Blue Buddha tinctures. Go check them out. You'll like this, Steve. Lubriderm. It's a fig bread pudding.
Ooh, bread pudding. I haven't had bread pudding since I was 12.
Oh wow!
And I love bread pudding.
My mum's neighbour, like she's in her 70s, 80s. She still, even though I have never lived at home for many years, she still makes me bread pudding, and I have to go down and collect it. And I get a nice. Homemade bread pudding is great. But yeah, this is fig bread pudding. I only got this the other day, and I've already ploughed through it.
You know, it's nice when that happens.
On a bridge as well, so you can imagine. So I've been non-stop vaping on it. It's really nice.
Trouble Buddha is another Steve.
Oh, hip hop! You're gonna if you're only in here quickly, you're gonna miss your little feature moment in a bit.
Yeah.
There was a question I was going to ask you, but I completely fucking forgot.
So you got to write these down.
It's no point because I never stick by it. We were talking about this before. There's no point. But that was it. Obviously, I've been watching you for a while, and I've realised that obviously you've lived in Scotland, Canada, and Australia. And obviously, you settled in Australia. If you didn't settle in Australia, would you have continued to travel to other countries? And is there countries that you wish you traveled to?
Whew, that's many questions rolled up into one. The first part is I kind of have to explain. My mother is Scottish, and my grandparents moved to Canada when she was quite young. She was 9. So they moved back and forward over years, just because you could do that in those days. And yeah, I mean, I was born in Canada. My father is Austrian. Which is pretty much all I really need to say about him. But yeah, they met in Canada. I was born in Canada. I went back to Scotland with my mom, was there for a while. Then, so I ended up living with my dad for a year in Canada. Then he pretty much kidnapped me. He thought my mom was coming to get me because I was only supposed to be there for a year, and then he'd send me back. And he thought my mom was coming to get me. So he put me on a plane to Germany and sent me to my uncle, who didn't know why I was there. And I lived with him for a year till my mom found out where I was. So I went back to Scotland. So boom, around there. Then my mom met an Australian and they decided to get married. So we're going to move to Australia. But that took like 5 years. So in the meantime, we went back to Canada for a while. And then I came to Australia and I lived 8 years on and off here. I was at the age where, now I've become an adult legally, not mentally. And so my sister lived in Canada. My mom lived here, and I just flew back and forth. Like I'd spend 2 years here, and I'd spend 2 years there. And then I'd go, I'd spend 2 years living somewhere, buying things and living a life. And then I go, fuck it, I'm going back and sell everything in the pawn shop and just fly over. I'd land with like a backpack. And I get a job and I start buying things. And then I go, fuck it, I made a mistake. I'm going back. And I was just back and forward. And I ended up in Canada, not really by choice, but I'd actually made the decision that I was going to stay here. I'm going to stay here, finalize things, and I'm going to just live here. And I ended up back there and kind of stuck there because it was a family medical emergency. I had to fly back to help my sister. My passport was expired. My visa expired. And so as far as I knew, I couldn't go back. So I stayed there for about 20 years and then got in touch with an ex-girlfriend from here, decided to come visit her. We decided to stay together again, give it another go. And yeah, emigrated again. And now I've been here for a little over 10 years now. So yeah, that's the backstory of why I've been the places I've been. Germany, Scotland, Canada, Australia, a little bit of Austria. Been through Czechoslovakia when it was still a thing, but it was just like, that was 2 hours. That was like, we're going there and it's in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's things I like about Canada that I miss a lot. There are things I love about Australia that I'm glad I'm here. There are
Yeah.
things about Scotland that I miss. I was kind of lucky. I got to experience Scotland as a kid, and so and it was a kid in the 70s. So it's like
Oh, nice.
there's no babying. Like
Yeah.
like you go out, like I was talking before about broken legs and ripped big scar down my hand from climbing through a window. I used to break into buildings. Just it's an empty building. Let's break in and see what's there. Yeah, we there was. I was talking to the wife the other day. There's a viaduct between the town I lived in and the next town, and so it's basically just a big fucking huge cow field with cows and cow shit everywhere. And there's this one track train. It's stone. It's not wood, but it's like 4 arches. Like, and you've seen these. If you live in the UK, you've seen these.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's the track, and then the ground goes down, and it goes along, and it goes back up, and it's like big fucking arches, and there's just like room for one train to go across. And we would go hang up there and play. And like, I'm thinking about it now, it's like, this is in the middle of nowhere, so no one would see you or find you. You look down, it's like 4 stories down. There's no guardrail. There's like a tiny brick, and we're jumping back and forward. We're rolling around. I'm like, kids would not be allowed anywhere near there now.
No, not now.
Safety. But I got to experience Scotland in that period of time, but I never had to be unemployed. Didn't have to be a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the beginnings of being a teenager, and then I went to Canada where things were just totally different. So, I mean, I love Scotland, but it's a rough place. But yeah, question there, Mike Haynes, Lawrence Sausage, have been hunting for it here for years. Nothing like a nice bit of fried square sausage and egg for breakfast. But yeah, like I said, there's things I miss about all of them. So I would be happy in any. I'm happy here because my wife's here, and this is what. But if I could take her with me, I'd be happy anywhere. Yeah. Where would I like to go, or where haven't I been? I mean, everywhere. I like. But my issue is I don't like, and this might be part of my personal history. I don't like the idea of getting on a plane and being somewhere for 3 days and then flying away again. It's like, yeah, I saw stuff that I'll forget. I want to go somewhere and I want to sign a lease and move into a house. I want it to be somewhere where the tourists fucking aren't. I want to go to the grocery store and I want them to know my name after going there enough. I want the coffee shop people to know my order. I want to learn the way that you banter with each other, where that acceptable line of picking on each other is. I want to know what the yearly festival is, and I want to get used to that. Like, I want to stay there for 5 years, and then I'll fuck
live
off
like a local.
But I want to immerse in it.
You know? Yeah, you like live like a local type thing.
Yeah. But yeah, everywhere. There's not much. Prague, for some reason, Prague is like a city I've always wanted to go to. I don't know why. I know nothing about Prague. It just looks beautiful. I want to go to Prague and I want to take black and white photographs of me wearing a long trench coat in the rain.
See, if you like Prague, you'll love Bruges. Bruges is lovely. The only places I really wanted to go was Florence, which my wife took me a couple of years ago because I don't know why, I just got a weird obsession with like the Medici family. Don't know if you heard about all that sort of run the banks and all that. And I was like, fuck it, I just want to go over there. So the wife took me for my birthday. But apart from that, me and the missus were like, let's write a bucket list of everything we want to do. It literally was the whole world.
Yeah. See, once you open yourself up to like, there's some things that will rise to the top, but there's very little that you don't want to do, or very little that you don't want to like. I mean, I know there are some people that's like, they're very happy. I live in my village. There's my pub. There's my job. There's my friends. I went to school with my friends. When I die, my friends will be that I went to school with. The people are happy like that. Blows my mind. I can't understand it. But there are people that are happy like that. The rest of us is like, throw out any city in the world. Like, we're going to Paris for the weekend. You want to come? Fuck yeah. We're going to Bruges. Oh yeah. Well, what's in Bruges? Where's Bruges? Oh fuck it, it doesn't matter. I'll go. I want to see.
It's like my top on the list because I don't know if people probably don't know. So I'm obsessed with penguins. I have been my whole fucking life, and at one point I had every documentary possible on DVD, and I would just watch them back to back. And I've always wanted to go to see the penguins. I even went as far as going for a job with the British Antarctic Survey just to go live with the penguins. But the problem is I can't swim. This is what I don't understand. Would I need to swim? Because if you hit that water, you ain't coming out alive. It's like, well,
yeah.
And you got a life jacket on, so if I did survive, I wouldn't really have to swim anyway because I'd sort of bob about. But that was the one thing that stopped me.
There are penguins that aren't in the Antarctic.
Yeah,
there are places where you can walk around in shorts. You can see all sorts of penguins. There's penguins in Australia. Come here.
You got penguins?
There's penguins in Australia. Just in one area, but yeah, there's islands with there's subtropical. It's warm, it's deserty. It looks like Castaway, and there's fucking a million penguins there.
Oh, just something about penguins. For my 25th birthday, my family took me to London Zoo to go pet the penguins, but didn't tell me it was for fucking kids. I'm 25 with about 8 little kids around me going to see these penguins. I'm fucking pushing these kids away. Get away, get away. And I'm sitting on the floor stroking this penguin surrounded by children with all these big pictures. Oh, it's great.
But were you happy? You got to see the penguins.
I was like pig in shit. I was so happy. It's the best present I think I ever had.
What I don't get is, and this is like a weird thing I've seen all around the world. So you've been obsessed with penguins since you were like tiny.
Yeah.
And yet penguins are not in your country. They're not part of your natural. They're far away. They're exotic. Yeah. And that habit, that thing. Like if you go to somewhere where there's penguins, there's no kids who are obsessed with penguins, but they're into like fucking badgers. They're just obsessed with badgers,
foxes,
or skunks, or foxes. There are people in the UK, or not in the UK. There are people in the US who are obsessed with foxes. They don't have foxes in the US, but they have them where you are. And it's like becoming obsessed with this thing that is unreachable, almost virtually.
It became into an obsession.
Yeah,
I just knew more random facts about penguins than I did about my schoolwork. If my school was about penguins, I'd fucking pass it. But ask me about World War II. Couldn't really tell you much.
Now, if the penguins had fought in World War II, you'd be all
I'd
over
known everything. Yeah, I'd be all over it like a rash.
Do you have a tattoo? Penguin tattoo?
No, I never. I did at one point have something drawn up because I wanted a whole sleeve of all penguins, but I stopped getting tattoos years ago. I've got like leg pieces, back piece, arms, hips, all that lot, and I just sort of got to the point where I wanted so many, and then other stuff happened, and it just got really expensive because my tattoo was my best mate. So I got a whole leg done for like 400 or 500 quid.
It's not bad.
Which would have been like 4 or 5 grand probably.
Yeah.
And we fell out of touch. And to be honest, when I went to Florence, I wanted to get one of the Florence. I'm going to butcher. Is it Fleur de Leur or whatever it's called? The little curly thing that's the floor. I wanted to get it there, and they wanted to charge me over €200 for it. And I was like,
it's because they heard your accent. And they were like, "Oh, tourist."
Yeah, I want a Fleur de Leur. What? I want one of these. But yeah, no, I just unless it's a prison tattoo, I'm not doing that. Which I did do myself when I was 19. My mate lent me his tattoo gun. I had a bit too much to drink, and started tattooing my hip myself.
You did it with a gun. That's not a prison tattoo. I
didn't do that.
I did. I got that one up there when I was 14. Yeah, when I was 13. And yeah, I was doing art, and I went to the store with my mom. It's like, I need this and this and this, and she sees the bottle of India ink, and she's like, "You're not going to do a tattoo with that, are you?" I'm like, "No." Thanks for that. Yeah. I think it was literally like an hour later. I'm sitting going, I should have picked somewhere that I could actually fucking see.
Yeah. The problem is I've got shit spellings. If I did it myself, I know in my luck I'd be one of those ones that spells that wrong, and I wouldn't be able to get rid of it. Yeah, I've got like eagle on my arm. My first one on my back. I was 17. My dad took me, and he was like, "Draw what you want, and I'll take you." And it was back when you remember when tribal tattoos were like the in thing.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm not going to get tribal tattoo, but I'm going to do my own version. So I really like native Indians. So I tried to do like a bird, but looked like tribal. Got it done. My dad was like, "Why the fuck did you get a chandelier tattooed on your back?" It is fucking horrendous. And I'm not even going to show you because it's that bad, but it is pretty big as well. And I got a leg full of old horror films. Like I've got Michael Myers, Evil Dead, and all that lot on my other leg. Then I got really drunk in Morocco and woke up with a tattoo. Apparently, I went into a shop in the middle of Morocco and pointed and went, "That looks pretty," and got it tattooed. And I've got the word activities tattooed on my knee.
Okay.
Yeah, I done the old Google search. You know the Google lens where you can scan it, and it said activities. I was like, bullshit. The missus speaks Arabic. She was like, "Yeah." So I actually have activities, and it's not even small. You'll give you a giggle. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, rather embarrassing, but
you've never considered like making it a full sentence by putting a word before and after that would maybe.
Well, I don't do activities. That's why I've got a big gut. And I got Dimebag Darrell's guitar tattooed on my foot, which I went to a tattoo shop for and got it by someone that didn't actually do tattoos. It was their first one.
Oops.
And it looks fucking horrendous. It looks like a giant, like a massive butterfly's landed on my foot, and someone's just gone poof. It's just everywhere. She hit a vein on my foot, so I was wondering why blood was just like pouring off my foot.
Oh,
and I was like, "That's not good." She was like, "Oh, I've hit your vein." But it's only your first one, so it's okay. I was like, "Hang on, no one told me that this was your first tattoo."
Yeah, that's you think that's something they would disclose.
She was
a good guy. It'll cost you 500 quid, or you could have her for 50.
Well, it turned out she was a security guard at a nightclub. She was
big girl, man.
She was built like a brick shithouse. She just grabbed hold of my foot and just went to town on it. But yeah. So all mine are pretty weird and stupid. If I would have carried on, I would have had my face tattooed. That's how deep into it I got. Then just got to that point and was like, no more.
You see those guys who've gone so far into it, and they're still there. They're still into tattoos, but like they've got like the shit cheap ones when they start, and then a couple of friends practice, and then for some reason or other they get like a really stupid like Mario or Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they get like this beautiful sleeve that's really nice, and you can see it. You can always tell. It's like whenever you see someone who's got an entire black arm, it's just like I'm just erasing my fucking history here. It's just like it's just black. It's just nothing. There's no detail. It's just a solid. It's like, yeah, you've just realized that all those tattoos there are shit, and just color it in.
What can we do? Just cover it. It's like guy, wasn't he? Red Skull, they called him. That cut. He's tattooed all his face red and cut his nose off.
Look, I always have an issue with that. Like, and it's not just that. There's a whole range of things. I'm down with body mods.
Yeah,
Gen Xer, of course. We embrace that, brought it into the modern age. If you want to tattoo the fuck out of yourself, I stopped here. But if you want your stretching to be fun, whatever, do whatever you want. Be yourself. I'm good with that. But there's just that line, like and it's ever so thin. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you do that?
The thing that got me was like, if you've got a runny nose, you're fucked. Because it's just two huge holes. It's not like you've got like...
Yeah, imagine you sneeze, it would just go... It'd just be like... How the fuck does he wear a mask?
Oh, what about glasses? It just becomes. Oh, you'd have to have the monocles, wouldn't you?
The thing that has got me, like in terms of body mods and that, you see the people who change like full on plastic surgery, which that falls into the line of body mod, and I've seen people do one thing or another, but there's this weird thing where you see the people who become addicted, and it's just like work after work after work, and it's like I was talking to the wife about it. There's a whole thing about our genetics, like. If you have these eyes and these ears, you can't have any mouth. You can only have one of these 5 mouths because it will work.
Yeah.
And so if you get plastic surgery and you go a little too far from your genetic profile, it's going to look a bit weird. Like, if you're a big beefy person and you get a little tiny button nose, that doesn't fit your face. It's wrong.
Yeah.
But these people who go over and over and over and they just continue it, I don't know what it is, but in the end, they all have the same face. It's all exactly the same. It could be like someone who's been doing it for 10 years, someone who went overboard I saw a guy in South America somewhere. He wanted to be Bieber, and he's had a whole bunch of stuff done over the last 5 years. But in the end, they all have the same face. Like, it's just like, it's weird how all the different procedures that they do and however it adds up, they become almost
similar.
Yeah, they all look similar, and it's just like their heads look big and their eyes are huge and their lips are fucking huge and their ears are pinned back and their nose is tiny and their cheekbones are like gone and replaced by like 2 bars of plastic, like 2 bits of plastic soap in there just to give you something. It's just the weirdest thing. Those are the ones where I go, yeah, like, I'm down with body mods. I'm down with taking control. You want to put some horns in, fine. But you're fucking melting.
It's like the problem I don't understand.
Yeah.
They hit like 50, they hit like 60, 70. Gravity takes over your skin. You're going to be stretched. So that to start with, that tattoo of the little line on your butt cheek it's going to look like it's been run over by the time you're 70, but it's fine. But all that plastic surgery, one on top of each other, it doesn't look good. And I don't like saying names, but like Sylvester Stallone's mother, she's had so much plastic surgery, it's quite scary.
Yeah.
There's too much. You can only pile so much on top of each other before it doesn't look good.
And the other part of it is that every time you do it, it's damaging the structure. Like bones are weaker, the muscles tonality is not as good because they're pulling everything apart and then putting it back. There's damage there. And then they go back in and do it again and do it again. And eventually, it's kind of like what was happening to Michael Jackson at the end. Like there's no nose left.
No, it's just a bit of plastic.
Yeah, they're just trying to keep but there's nothing to mount the plastic to. It's kind of like building an extension on your house, but only nailing it to like rotten wood. Like eventually, it's just going to keep falling off.
Oh, sorry, put it back on.
Yeah,
the only plastic surgery I think I'd ever do is sort my teeth out. Typical Brit. But apart from that, I don't think there's anything that I would do. It's like you get the guys that get like the fake 6 packs,
yeah,
and the fake muscles. You look and go fake. It's like there's no need for it. If the amount of money you put into that, why don't just get a personal trainer? It may cost you a little bit less than getting the plastic surgery, and then you'd have it for good.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to worry that someone would go, "Oh, he looks strong. Hey, you want to help me with these boxes?" Really, I'm just a tiny weedy guy with some plastic implants. No.
Yeah. It's like when they had that big thing where they were injecting. Do you remember when they were doing the butt implants?
Yeah.
Injecting, I can't remember that mental stuff into people's asses and that, and then people were just getting their ass rotted away.
It was whatever they could get their hands on. It was like grout, polyfilla, concrete. I mean, seriously. And what I couldn't understand that became this huge thing, and there were these people. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I went to the doctor, and she said it's going to cost $450 per cheek to do this. But I went to my salon; they do nails, and the woman there said she'd do them both for $50. So I'm going there." What? At what point did this being cheap trump like
a proper
life?
surgery?
Yeah.
It's some of these medical stories are incredible. What people have done. It's like with the whole Trump business. Just inject yourself with bleach. People actually did it.
Yeah.
Right.
People are weird. People are crazy.
That's
Like,
why I love looking at labels. Labels are the best. Like even like just picking it up. Cotton bacon. You read closely. Not actual bacon. Do not ingest.
and everyone thinks that that's a joke, but there's probably a reason behind it. It probably got returned one day. Like, dude, I tried frying this shit and it's horrible.
I want my money back. It's like the little silica packs. Do not eat. Did someone get? Oh, I got a free packet of sweets, and just start munching away on it. Just, I bet it's the coffee one, isn't it? The typical coffee one. This coffee is hot. Well, I'd complain if it wasn't fucking hot.
Yeah. I've heard actually there is that story, the woman who burnt herself, and a lot of jokes get made about that. And it did come out that there is more information, and she burnt herself quite severely.
There's a universal temperature, and there was above average, wasn't there?
Theirs was above average, and the lid wasn't on quite correctly. But on top of that, she was in a moving car using her thighs to stabilize the coffee while trying to fiddle with it. She got paid out quite well, but in my mind, there's a certain amount of culpability for her. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we do live in a world where you literally have to baby everyone. It's like this is not food. I mean, I've seen it. Like you go to the store and you get like those little plastic. It's like a pork chop and a piece of corn and a potato and tomato, and they're for 5-year-olds so they can play shopping or whatever. Yeah. I mean, they're clearly injection molded plastic, and on the back of that, this is not actual food. Like, did you have to tell? Well, apparently you had to tell someone.
It makes me think, how far along did someone try and eat that before they realized it wasn't food and then complained?
Yeah. And it's the complaining part. Like if you did that, like you went into a store and there was like a bowl of apples and they were really, really attractive looking apples and you bit into one and it was fucking soap. You'd be like, nobody saw that.
Yeah.
I'm just backing away. Like I'm embarrassed as fuck. How completely lacking in self-consciousness do you have to go, you fuckers, this is soap. I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. It's your fault.
You didn't label it properly.
Yeah.
There's a great YouTube video somewhere. I saw it years ago. If I find it, I will send it to you. It's this woman complaining to Tesco's about her oven pizza, saying that she got a pizza with no topping on it, and she's tearing him a new one. You're fucking upside down. She turned it around. Oh, I'm very sorry. It was upside down.
And the thing is, too, when you do that, they usually just go and walk away.
Yeah.
No apologies. No. They'll do it again. They'll do it again with something else because you're just looking to complain.
See, so if you do something wrong, I always admit when I'm wrong. I've done it a couple of times where I've called up a company tearing them a new one, and it turns out that I'm wrong. Like, mate, I'm really sorry. I'm just tore your ass apart for 20 minutes, and it is my fault. I was waiting for a contract to come through on my phone, and they said, "Have you checked junk?" Yeah, I checked junk. I didn't have anything. So while I'm on the phone, I'm looking. I was like, "It's fucking there, isn't it?" So, yeah, I'm really sorry. I found it. I'm sorry for tearing you a new one. Can I speak to your boss, please? He deserves a raise because he didn't swear at me. Thank you.
You know what? That's the thing that more than anything, that's what we're lacking worldwide. Just that sense of humility and culpability and responsibility. Like turning around and going, "I fucked up. It's my fault. I'm sorry." Yeah. Just that. It's so rare these days. Everyone's like, "Well, fuck up," and they'll either just walk away or they'll double down. I've seen people just double down on what they're saying. It's like even with the proof right in front of them, it's like, nah.
And you can't win with that argument if you're the one fighting against them. It's like, okay, love, you're right. But no, you have to admit it because you look like a fool otherwise. And plus, I find it quite funny when you realise, oh, I done fucked up. I'm sorry. Oh,
Dave Lloyd, don't shower with the toaster. Mallory Gates, this one concerns me a lot. Curling irons are for external use only.
Oh,
what are they trying to curl internally?
Just get a Ken the Barbie doll for reference. What? See, I'm really sorry.
No worries.
This could get a bit deep. But I did that. Remind me, I did have a question for you. I don't know if you've watched any of these other previous shows, but all my conversations somehow go back to the rabbit hole. We all know that you dipped your toe in that rabbit hole.
I did. I still have it.
How you finding it?
Nice. I always forget I've got a pink lemonade in there, and I love that. My rabbit hole is it's boarded up right now, but it comes down to this: the decisions that I had to make. We all have interests and hobbies and things that we're into, and obviously, vape's a big one for me. But YouTubing, filmmaking, cameras, lights, all that is the other side that I'm really big on. And so every purchase is a balance for me. It's like, do I get a new light, or do I get well, actually it's like, do I get 5 new lights, or do I get a billet box? And so I've put a halt. I haven't ordered anything. I haven't got myself a real billet box or any bridges or anything in the last little while, just because I have lights to get and cameras to get and lenses to get and stuff like that.
I'll give you a good option. See, like, I love the Wick Bridge. I love the Mob Mini. I love everything like that. I went and got myself this little thing. It's called a Molan Bridge by Ambitions Mod.
Okay.
£25. You get free airflow. There's like 3, 2, and 1.5. You can get additional ones. Since putting that in, I have not touched the Mob. I have not touched the Wick, and I have not touched the Vapes Now or Vape Shell.
Oh, that's high praise.
So I really like it, and the other reason why I like it is with the airflow adjustment at the bottom. Rather than it just being a hole, there's pinholes. So it's like a little mini honeycomb as well, which gives for me a better airflow. But you can't see it. But at the bottom is the juice flow. It's right underneath. So like I know very much like with the Wick and that, it's on the side. The liquid can only go a certain distance. This, if you're like me and you don't pay attention to your liquid level, that's great because you can vape it all the way down to empty.
Nice.
So for £25, the most I've seen it for is £26.
I'll just check it out. See if anyone here's got it.
It's worth getting it. If you don't, give me a shout, and I'll sort you one from over here if you can't get hold of one. And
just heads up, your volume, your mic has gone really low and thin.
Let me move it. I did knock it. Is that better?
I don't know what you've done to it.
Did I knock something?
You kind of sound like you're talking through a phone on the other side of the room.
Is that better?
Nope.
1 second. Better?
Nope.
Ah, penis.
Don't you hate it when this happens and it puts you right on the spot?
Is that better?
A little bit louder, but still quite thinny. Ian is saying the sound is good from there. Hold on. Talk now.
Hello.
Gonna test something. Try now.
You're good?
Yeah, you're all good. Apparently, okay, now you get the big headphones.
You look like a proper streamer now.
I hate wearing these. I absolutely hate wearing these.
Oh,
And
see,
it's really gross. I know what it is. You know how you got the little earbuddy thing?
yeah.
This thing's chock-a-blocks with wax. Ugh.
Is it a bit like a drip tip?
Yeah, it's just full. That is horrendous.
Oh, just got too loud here. Sorry, because I was leaning closer. I'll move it back out a bit.
See, there you go. Right back to what we're talking about. That was entirely my fault. I was blaming you. It was my fault. I accept responsibility. I'm sorry. Now you have to
You're
put
just
up
playing now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember what I was saying now. Yeah. So yeah, if you can't get hold of one, let me know, and I'll sort it out from one of my guys, and we'll get it to you. But well, for 25 quid, 26 quid, it's fucking outstanding. And I'm really happy that stuff like this is coming out, because it's making me get all excitable for the mass market bridges that are coming out. I think we're going to get some good ones.
My opinion has always been that the difference between really good mass market and high end is sometimes materials, sometimes rarity, sometimes the fact that it's a low production run.
Yeah.
But not always performance. Like really good mainstream and really good high end perform pretty closely. And so, yeah, this whole thing really excites me to see the idea of more options, more alternatives out there for people to get into this, because they're pretty cool.
It's all about Tony. What is it with Tony B? He takes something that's high end, that's really fucking expensive, gets his little hands on it, and mass produces it for under 100 quid, and then fucking everyone comes and joins in, and it's great.
Yeah, it is. He's got that knack of picking something that will work, something that's got the potential to explode like that at the right time, and then working with the company. And this is why, look, I had some complaints, comments. I did a review for this, and I did a review for the Cthulhu. And in Cthulhu, I kind of, it wasn't a bad review. It's like a nice device. It's well built. It's solid. It feels good. It does what it's supposed to. The deck that comes with it is shit, but if you put a different one in there, you're fine. But I did say that dollar for dollar, pound for pound, out of the box, this is a better deal. If you don't have any other stuff, if you're not in the built box borrow system, and you're basically what is in the box has to work for you, this is the better deal than the Cthulhu. The Cthulhu works if you're willing to immediately buy another bridge for it, another tank for it, or if you already have some stuff. Say you're you're into billet boxes, but you want something that can fit in your pocket. You don't really worry if you get scratched. You know, your billet box is expensive. It stays at home. This goes to work with you. Then that's where the Cthulhu really shines. And I got a guy who just came into the comments, and he just was not happy that I said that. He's like, he's accusing me of being a shill for Tony B, my best friend. It's like, dude, I've never even talked to the guy. It was just railing at me for this. And it's like, okay, so you don't get what I was saying, or you don't get. I'm not putting it down. Cthulhu is great, but dollar for dollar, this is a better deal. And one of the reasons is because of what Tony does. And it's the same thing he did with all the pulses. Is he fine tunes? It's like, okay, what is functional? How does this work? What needs to be there? Where the tolerances need to be important? Okay, everything else, and it's literally a business decision. What can we skimp on to bring the price down? And in this, I mean, obviously Tony would, as anyone would, design this and have some pride in it. He'd go, I want a metal body. I want it to be nice and solid and durable. But that adds $50 to it. So let's go plastic. You know?
Yeah.
So it's all the things. It's like you find a way to put it at a price point where it can actually move and sell and be, especially with that one, the whole concept is, I might not like billet boxes. I might not be into that. but the amount of money I've spent is not a waste. If it was double the price, I'm like, do I want to spend that much and find out that I don't like billet boxes? Not really. But for half the price of that, I absolutely, cutting those costs, it's important. It's what puts it in people's hands.
And he's made that improvement. I've always said that I wanted was a 21700 billet box.
Yeah.
I don't mind for 18650s, and this is my personal. I hate when they bring out new mods and they're all 18650. Just use 21700. Even if it's low wattage, you get better battery life. And I personally prefer 21700s. So my 18650s just go in the billet box and the Abyss, nothing else. And it annoys me having to carry an extra 18650 with me. So I always like, if I can get a 21700, 25 watts, you're sorted.
I can see with some things size is an issue. If it's designed to be small, if it's meant to be portable, pocket friendly, if it's kind of thing that you're envisioning your market, I mean, it sounds a bit sexist to say, but sometimes people are looking at the market and going, okay, so this is for people that are sporty and traveling, maybe women in their handbags who want something lighter and more pocket friendly, then maybe a smaller battery. What gets me is when you get something that's like built and beefy like that, and then you pop it over and it's like, why is it so fucking big when it's got an 18650 in there? Why would you do that? I mean, this little beast is not bad. Single 18650. I'm like, could it not just be a little bit bigger? Just a little bit bigger?
I think it'd be a good price point as well. So, okay, you got this. It's 217. You'll have longer battery life. Because I don't know if you're the same as me, but with anyone that I spoke to that wants to get into vaping or they want to update from like their little pens, I want one that lasts longer.
Yeah.
Well, in the market today, get a dual 18650. I don't want a brick. No, fair play. No, I can understand why you don't want to. But get a 21700 mod. Trying to find one is so difficult. That it actually is. That is pocket friendly. With price as well. As soon as they go to that 21700, everything seems to shoot up in price.
Yeah, which, I mean, there's no real point in it. It's the same chip. It's the same body material. It's a marginal amount more metal just to accommodate the size. It's the same design process. Why is it now automatically, $30, $50 more?
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like the size comparison really struck home when I got hold of the Denali, because you think 21700. The only other I've got the Big Tree of Life series box mod, which is fucking humongous with two 21700s, and that thing you do not take out of the house because it's probably classed as a weapon over here. But then I thought I'd get the Denali single, and I was like, it's fucking tiny. Because the batteries aren't actually that big. So if you think, just take that and put a board on it, it's not going to be that much bigger. Really, is it?
Yeah. I'm just going to switch. Hold on a sec. I switched earpieces.
Is that better?
Oh, that's so much better. I hate wearing these. I don't know why. I don't mind. These I use for like watching TV shows and watching streams. Like if I'm watching,
but
if I'm on cam, I hate. There's something about having my ears closed and talking. The sound. It just for some reason it's always bothered me with sound. That's why even with these, I'll use one. I got
one there, and I've got one sticking up there. Yeah. I can't do headphones. I've never been able to.
I have the same thing with hoodies. Like I don't mind wearing a hoodie, but you'll never catch me with it up. Like that, the sound and the lack of peripheral vision. I start getting really jumpy. Like,
see, I always keep them so that it's behind. I always have it just on the back of the head if I wear a hoodie. No, see, I only wear hats because I haven't had my hair cut, and I look like I've been dragged through a bush backwards. So when I'm wearing a hat, it's because I haven't had my hair cut because it's pretty mental.
Yeah. You could always just shave it off.
Oh, I did once, and the missus said, "Look, Her exact words, "You look like a football hooligan," was the exact word I got. So apparently I look like a skinhead racist. And I was like, but I'm not. She was like, well, we know you're not, but you don't look nice. So I've been banned from shaving my head. And it looked kind of weird when I first done it. I think it was last summer. I just decided, right, fuck it, I'm shaving it. So I took all the ends off the clippers and just got the razor and just went straight down the middle. And I was like, oh, I can see it's just skin. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just carry on. And I went out with the wife, and it just looked very weird because obviously I'm like 6'2" and I'm quite a big guy. I mean, Mrs. is only like 5'2". She's tiny. So I'm walking down the road with my wife, who's very old, and they look at me like, oh shit, what? He looks like a racist, but he's Mrs. isn't it? So yeah, I just wore a hat till my hair grew back because it just looked fucking horrendous.
You have to learn to embrace it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I had to, when I done it, I drove down to see my mum. Considering I'm 35, I was 33 at the time, and my mum chased me around the front garden trying to kick me because I had my hair cut.
I think we talked a little bit about different countries, different worlds having different cultural stuff, and I think the UK has a cultural spin on a shaved head that the rest of the world doesn't have quite as much.
Yeah, massively, yeah. And especially where I live, where I live in a very Asian area. So when I go down that way, I'm sort of, I suppose you can call me the token white guy in the whole area. And walking around there with a skinhead it's not nice. So yeah, I'm not allowed to cut my hair anymore, and I can't grow a beard, so I'm fucked.
It's a weird thing because the whole skinhead culture in the UK originally, like, and we're going back to like 60s here, it was a multicultural youth movement that embraced
specials.
Oh no, that's like later. That's the 70s, but in the 60s, like we're talking about sort of like mod period of time. There was this whole there was a whole skinhead movement, and they were totally into reggae, dub, rocksteady, and blue beat, which is all Jamaican pre-ska, like early ska music, like the original Jamaican stuff. And yeah, it was dressing smart. And the ultimate in looking smart was having your hair neat and tidy. Nothing is neater and tidier than a shaved head. So it was all about that. And it was a bit working class, but like I said, it was very multicultural. And somewhere in the 70s, like ska starts coming up and it's like post-punk. And so it starts coming back into its popularity. And then all of a sudden, this offshoot that culturally and socially and appearance-wise drew from the original skinheads, but then started embracing racism and pushing out. It's just a really weird thing that the roots are about like we all live here and we're all friends. Let's go dance to reggae. It's fucking awesome. And now it's all about like whites only. It's a weird shift. It's a very weird.
It's like the swastika, isn't it? Because that was originally, is it Buddhist?
It's in a number of cultures. Buddhist is one of them, but it's in a number of Asian cultures as a symbol of peace and some other things, but never what it became. I still don't know where Germany got it from. Like, how did it take that jump and become their symbol?
Yeah.
Like, the Iron Cross, that makes sense. It comes historically through the line, and by World War I, it became somewhat negative because it was the symbol of the enemy and then the symbol of the losing side, but never truly a racist thing. But then they come to the next war and they embrace the swastika. And I have no idea. Like, were they just looking through a book one day going, we need a symbol. We need to put something on the wings of the plane. It's going to be easy for school kids to draw in 30 years.
Yeah. It needs straight lines.
Yes. The weirdest thing, and okay, so because you're a Brit, you won't have the immediate knee-jerk reaction to this. Americans hate it when I point this out. So the Nazi Party got really popular in Germany, and they grew to power, and they started kind of being like Jehovah's Witnesses, as in going door to door. They started sending people all over the world. Anywhere there were little enclaves of German people, they would set up offices and try to encourage people to ascribe to Nazi philosophy, and they would do things and to like they'd have cultural events. And nowhere was this more popular and more big than in the US. They were really fucking popular. There's pictures of parades down the main street in Manhattan. Ooh. Flags and uniforms, the little Hitler Youth. They had a camp. There was a cultural society, and they had a fucking Hitler Youth camp out in, I think is it Rochester, New York? Like just outside of New York City. Like it was a thing, to the point where, and this is like a few years ago, I saw this and it blew my mind. There was an apartment. So New York has like these old fancy apartments, and one of those really big, nice, probably was originally an Art Deco building, and they'd had the floors done with wooden inlay, and it was just like beautiful, beautiful floor with like multiple colored patterns, and they have like the floor is clean, and then around the room is like lines inlaid in the wood in different colors, different types of wood. And so these lines, they pulled up the carpet. These people had been living there for years. They pulled up the carpet, and the lines, every time they hit the corner, boom, swastika. Every fucking corner. And we're talking about like the entire apartment is like 30 corners there. It's like, and this floor, if it wasn't for that, be worth millions. It's beautifully pristine, untouched, not a scratch. Like late 30s craftsmanship. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, not Rochester. I'm not quite sure where the camp was. There was one though, Dave. But yeah, the amount of Nazi influence in the States at that time, just prior to the war, was huge. They were like, you see these movies where it's like it's before the war and we've gone back in time and here are the Nazis and they're being all sneaky and trying. It's like, yeah, they were being sneaky as in being underhanded and bribing people, but it's not like they had to do it in dark alleys. No, they were walking in the front door and being offered a cup of tea. Sit down. We have a meeting with the mayor. We'd like to put up a Nazi statue in your town. We'll give you this much money for it. Oh yeah, cool. We'll do that. The only thing you guys is no blacks here. Fine, we're American. We're good with that. I mean, people that whole thing has been whitewashed. As in, yeah, we didn't know what was going on, and then the British told us, so we went to war. That's the way they like to view it. It's like, dude, you guys were so in bed with them. And the other part that people don't like to hear is that the whole, oh, we don't like the Jews and their inferior stuff, the whole science part that was attributed to that all came from the States. The science of eugenics and its history goes back decades before Hitler was in power. And yeah, I mean, they had people from the States who were like published, funded scientists being flown out to lecture in Germany in like 1938 and 39, et cetera, because their opinions. It's that sad thing when you don't like someone, and then this person over here says, "Oh, there's a scientific reason for that." Oh, proof. Thank you.
Yeah. Come over.
Yeah.
But wasn't Henry Ford a Nazi sympathizer as well?
Yes. Absolutely. He was not a fan of Jewish people. And for him, it was the reverse. It was like, I don't like them anyway. So if you guys don't like them, I'll like you.
I'm on board. Sad times. No, we just it was Holocaust Remembrance Day yesterday. 27th. Yeah, it was yesterday. And because I'm on the radio, there was just one of the last surviving ladies was talking about what went on. This fucking, and the mad thing is, it wasn't that long ago.
It's closer than people want to realize.
Yeah, it was literally it wasn't even like 2 generations ago, really, was it?
I'm not sure. We're in a weird world. Like we measure generations by what TikTok dances they know. So it seems to have it's if you count them, it sounds like we've had like 5 generations since I was born. But yeah, it's not that long ago. If you've still got people alive who were there, and we do, then that's not that long ago. On the other hand, here's the thing. I can get really controversial with this, but when it happened and afterwards, round up everyone and try them for what they did. I'm cool with that. And then 20 years later, we found some more people that were there and they were involved in it. So let's try them for that. And I'm cool with that. But rounding up someone who was the baker, who supplied the trucks, that fed the guards, who's been living in hiding and in fear for the last 80 years, and he's got the Zimmer frame and the oxygen mask, and saying, "Okay, we got to try you for war crime." Like I'm at some point, I'm not saying forget. I'm saying you've gotten to the pointless level. I mean, I think if you could find like they've got all the big guys. If you missed one and you find him, then go for it. But we're talking about bookkeepers and bakers and also got to keep in mind that they're holding these people accountable because they didn't do something. And yeah, when you're talking about like wealthy people that were in the SS, could have made a difference. That's fine. When you're talking about, like I said, a low-level, entry-level accountant or a baker or whatever, it's not like they could turn around and say no. It's like you either make the buns for the guards at the camp or we fucking shoot you and then we kill your family. I'm thinking that they really didn't have a lot of choice. It's not a case of they went with it and they supported it. It's more a case of what else were they going to do? Let their family get killed?
Yeah. It's like, I remember watching, the one film that always gets me was The Pianist. Like, you learn about it in school, but when you watch films like that, it really puts into perspective what actually went down in those camps, and it's fucking horrendous.
Oh, it's horrible. We as a species we like to say that was the worst thing that ever happened, and etc. It's like I mentioned to the wife yesterday. I said it's funny. Everyone hates Hitler. I'm not being an apologist. Believe me, I'm not being an apologist for any of that. But everyone remembers Hitler and there's all this stuff. It's like, but Stalin's body count was so much higher. And she's like, what? What, really? I'm like, yeah. The only difference is that he did his own people behind the Iron Wall for much, much longer. I mean, he had like 25 years of pogroms against Russian people. I mean, the body count of the Stalinist regime far exceeds what happened in World War II. But we don't remember that. It's just like, oh, he was just a bad communist. But yeah, he's a mass fucking murderer.
It was like with the whole Hitler business. He was a painter as well. I never realized that, and he was quite a good artist.
He's a painter and a vegetarian. He didn't want to hurt the animals. I mean, you think about the mental gymnastics that it takes to not want to eat a cow because the cows deserve life. Look at Jewish people and say they're fucking animals. Let's kill them.
It makes
how do you make that mental gymnastics? But we can. We are human, and that's the thing. Humans are fucked up.
It's like when people have the conversations about aliens. Look, if there was aliens, they would have watched us and gone, give them a couple of years, they're going to kill themselves off and we'll just take over afterwards. Like, nobody wants to get involved in this shit. It's just so much infighting. We're just built for destruction.
Yeah. We are one of the most self-destructive species ever. I think you're 100% right. If aliens, I mean, I'm not against, I'm not a disbeliever. Maybe there's aliens floating around. I'm not saying, my theory is that in an infinite universe, there must be other life somewhere. Do they have spaceships? I don't know. But if they've managed to get here and anally probed a couple of us and slaughtered some cows, I'm pretty sure that they're watching us in horror going, look at those fucking little bastards down there. And it's like reality TV. So it's like, we just can't wait what happens next season. It's just amazing.
It's like a shit episode of Emmerdale.
Yes, it's like, that guy is in his house. He's watching TV. He's eating fried chicken, and the person next door is starving to death and raping his daughter, and he's not even doing a thing about it. He knows it's happening. These people are fucked up. They're just totally fucked up. Like, look how many people are living on the streets. They have all these houses and all these buildings, and they're empty, and these people are like freezing to death. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Give me a couple of years, we'll kill each other off. Fuck it, it's mental. Yeah, it's like, I believe in Bigfoot. I do believe there's a Bigfoot out there, but I think he's smart enough just to keep the fuck away. He's seen what's happened. It's just like, I'm keeping out of the way. When I see one, I'm going to run. Seems like the easiest way to live.
I honestly don't blame him. I don't blame him for that.
I went through a large period of my life 5-6 years ago of I wanted to move out, go isolate somewhere. Like, I was watching. Do you remember Mountain Men? I think it was the old. I was like, mate, that sounds like a brilliant way of life. No one's fucking bothering me. I know where I stand. It's like, when you talk to enough people, you don't know what's going to happen. At least if you're faced with like a mountain lion, he's pissed at you. He's going to fucking eat you. It's either you or him. You're not going to turn around and then 2 days later he's going to come and get you in the back. You know what I mean?
He's not going to fuck your missus. No. He's not going to be whispering in your boss's ear. He's not going to be reporting you to the local police for growing some weed in your backyard. I mean, it's one way or the other.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people are thinking like that now, just moving out. Like, the city's getting less and less, especially London. It's mainly, they're building more and more buildings, but they're all being bought up by like the Russian, the Chinese, but only buying it and not living in them. Everybody's coming further and further out the city to get more and more land, to get the fuck away from each other. It's just too stressful. I lived in London.
The last 2 years here, the property prices around my area, like I said, I'm halfway between Brisbane and Sydney, and we're in the same state as Sydney. So we're about as far from Sydney as you can get in this state, pretty much. And this entire area, like, houses are like, they used to be 350K, something like that, on average. And yeah, they were up to about 110. No, 1.1, like a million. It's in this area, which is amazing. Like, prices in the last 2 years have just gone through the roof. Locals can't afford to buy houses anymore. People are selling their house, like the rental houses, they're selling them off. And then, of course, they're not getting rented because people are moving into them from over there. So there's nothing to rent here. There's nothing to buy here. And yet the city prices are staying the same and going up. Yeah. It's like there's nowhere to live.
Everybody wants to get out now.
Yeah.
I lived in Hammersmith, like right next to Hammersmith Apollo. I lived there for a couple of years, and my stress level was through the roof. Just living on top of so many people, because I was originally from like southeast London, so I was more like out in the suburbs type way, and everyone was quite laid back. Didn't have many people about. Coming to the city, and it's just stress 24/7.
I never had the issue with stress because of all the people. I actually kind of like the hubbub. One of my favorite things would be like go downtown in the city, middle of the day when the streets are like shoulder to shoulder, and just move. I have nowhere to go. I'm just going to walk around the city and look at people and just move through the crowds. That didn't bother me. Living in the city and being able to actually live there, rent, food, that was, and especially as soon as you get a family and kids, it's like, because all of a sudden it's that much more important. That was stress, just day-to-day living. I lived in Vancouver, which is incredibly expensive, and just worrying about eating and balancing bills, and that's just insane.
Yeah, Hammersmith was so expensive where I was living. One of the a 2-bed flat went for like 1.8.
There's I don't know who it is. There's a newspaper thing I see every now and then. This little report, and they're making fun of rental places in London. It's literally only London, and they show these pictures and they just tear them apart. and it's just amazing watching these basically like cupboards. It's like it's a house, and it used to be this big, and now it's 12 tiny cupboards, and you've got it's advertised with a view. Well, you got a view that's like the neighbor's wall. It's right there.
Yeah.
The better ones are where you've got a window, but the window is like somewhat triangular and up in the corner. And if you get up to look through it, you're looking into the neighbor's window.
Yeah,
wave at each other. You can share sugar, like you can reach across.
That was pretty much like where we lived. Oh, it was great during Notting Hill Carnival. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It's like it's been going for years. They shut all the streets down. It's all like African dancing, music. It's great. But fuck me, my first day living in central London, I went to the bus stop at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there was two guys with beer bottles, shit-faced, kicking 7 bells of shit out of each other. I was like, good morning.
City life.
Yeah, I can't be dealing with that. I lived there for a couple of years, and then where I am now, I'm literally at the bottom of an airport. Like, I've got Luton Airport at the bottom of my garden. So it's quite nice. There's like fields behind me because it's the runway. So that's why I have to have this, because otherwise, if I put it on this, you'd hear the planes land.
It's a bit of a balance. It's like you got a good view. It's noisy as fuck.
Oh, in the summer, I sit out there and have a vape, and I just wave at people as they land because you can see into the windows. But it was scary. I can't remember what stream I was on. When COVID first kicked off, the plane stopped and it was dead silent. Then I was outside watching when Grim done the daily vlogs.
Yeah,
I had to isolate because my mother-in-law came and lived with us for the month because my brother-in-law was ill. But then her and my wife got COVID, so I had to self-isolate with them. And I was sitting there going, all I heard, I was like, what the fuck? Come out of the garage, looked, and it's like a military helicopter landing. And instantly, my arsehole was doing this and thinking like World War Z. I was like, we're fucked. As long as they're not like the World War Z ones that run fast, because I'm fat and I can't run. I could do the Walking Dead ones because they're slow. I'm good with that. But if they're the rage zombies, I'm fucked.
I'm just imagining. You said the planes can see in your windows.
Yeah,
I can just imagine this plane coming down, and there's a little family there, like peering out, like, oh, we're in Britain, and they're coming down. Like, is that guy having a wank?
I wanted to write help on the roof of my garage and see how many people called. But no, we'll sit out there and just wave at them because they actually land in because we got it's the private jets as well. And I want to know there's a gold one that lands every couple of months. It comes in and it's gold. This thing.
That'd be Mr. Trump.
Probably. It's him or like
He's come back to see if the Scots like him again.
Oh, he's really fucking pissed them lot off.
Yeah. I don't blame him. There's a guy who lives in Sydney, or no, I guess it's a business because it's a big flat roof. But the roof of their business is on the flight plan, so all the international flights go over that area every single day. And so they've gone up and they've done exactly what he said. They've painted a big sign on their roof, but instead of writing help, they wrote "Welcome to Perth," which Perth is as far from Sydney as New York is from LA. It's like every time how many people are panicking, like, what the fuck? I'm on the wrong side of the country.
Yeah. Oh, see, I got abused. Go on, what's that?
Mallory's got a thing there. It says, "Put on your roof. Welcome to Moscow."
Yeah. Oh, it's like when Trump and Boris Johnson got into power. I got abused continuously. Like even my work was like, "You look like the love child of Boris Johnson and Donald Trump." Cheers.
That's low. That's low.
Oh, it's funny though. But oh shit, we're nearly 2 hours in.
Are we?
Hour and 49 minutes, smashing it.
Nice.
Right. So, well, before we finish up, because I think everybody needs to start. Oh, it's nearly 11:30 here. It's been smashing it. I'm just going to play just a quick promotional. It's literally like 10 seconds long. It's from a good friend of mine, Hip Hop Juice. If you're in the UK and you want some liquids, head over to him. He does web hosting as well. So if you need some websites done, merchandise, head over to him. He's a great guy. So sit back for 10 seconds and
Boom.
No.
You weren't wrong. That is but short.
Short but sweet. But seriously, he's a great guy, guys. If you need liquids, he does everything. He does mods, web hosts. He does clothing lines. He's got some great stuff on there. So make sure you go check him out.
So if someone was in the UK and they wanted to grab some of his stuff, where would they go?
Thank you, Steve. Head over to hiphopjuice.co.uk and your one-stop shop for everything you need. Cheers,
Awesome.
Steve. What would I do without you? Need to get you on as a regular now.
Does that mean I have to get up every Saturday morning?
Yep. Not enough coffee in the world for that.
No.
Oh. But I put all your stuff in the description, but still shout your shit. You got...
I don't know if I need to. All the names I see, I know these names. These are my people. These are our people. We share these people. But yeah, you guys, if you don't know who I am Steve. I run Legion Vapes on YouTube. I do a weekly stream on Thursday mornings where it's much like this, but just the one face and the audience. We just chat and chill and hang out. We also do the Aussie Vape Show every Sunday night Australia time, which is probably, I don't really know, UK time. And there's three of us there. We just Breeze Tones, good man, and Squidly Triss. And again, we sit, we shoot the shit. That's what I do a lot of my channel. I just talk, a lot of talking. And then, of course, regular reviews all through the week, every week, at least one or two a week of whatever I get my hands on.
And make sure you go join his Patreon, become a Legionnaire. The link is in the description. Go drop him some jingle and go get some merch. I'm ordering some merch at the end of the month. I had a mooch in it, and I was like, oh. The problem is, I click on it, and I'm like, I want that. I want that as well. I want that. So the normal £16 order it'd go to like 116, and like, fuck, go back. It's like I'll look at the end of the month and I'll order some.
You don't have to do them all at once. Just one thing at a time.
So there's no point doing stuff in halves. Just get it all.
Yeah,
that's my problem. I don't buy things in half. But yeah, make sure you go give Steve a follow. Instagram, Facebook, everything's in the description. Go join his Patreon. Go give him a like and subscribe on his YouTube. And aren't you on another show? Don't you do?
Oh yeah, on Tuesdays I'm on the Amigos and Co. So again, you can look those up on YouTube. That's me and Breeze Tones again, and our good friend Chris from the States, Chris Vendel. And we shoot the shit and we talk about vaping and life and butt plugs.
Yeah. You'll know me. View on Coils, cloudcartel.co.uk. All the shows are on there as well. There's a big old advocacy page on there. So look for where you're from, hit the logo, and it'll take you straight to the page. I've got Across the Pond tomorrow, midnight English time. We should have a special guest on. I don't think Josh has had confirmation yet, so I won't say who it is just in case. And then on Sunday we have Codename Wired, where I'll be doing a tutorial on staggered fused collectors. So
you know who you should get on Across the Pond?
Go on,
Matt Cully.
That is a good shout, Matt. If you're watching, which you're probably not. But if any of you know him, drop him the link. And if you want to come on Across the Pond, it's me, Vaping Jedi, and Angela Garrity. So we got a Brit, someone from Massachusetts, and Angela from Texas. And it was originally just going to be a show about talking about differences, but it never happens. It's the same as the show.
Yeah.
Write a title for what we're going to talk about, but it never sticks to it unless it's food or music. Then we stick to it.
Of course. You got to be focused on your goals.
Oh, exactly. Especially when you got me and Josh that both got big bellies. You start talking about food, and that's it. We're off. Yeah. And music. But yeah.
Oh, I should say, if anyone, because it was mentioned in the chat, if anyone knows where I can get Lauren sausages in Australia, let me know. Because now I'm craving the fucking things.
One more thing. Legion has put something out on his show. So if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. Where he will review anything. Absolutely anything. So drop him a message if you've got anything for him to review. It can be butt plugs. It can be gimp suits. It can be anything. So
It's true. I will review anything. I do not promise that I will use the thing for its intended purpose, which is a disclaimer that saves me from having to review butt plugs properly. Yeah.
Apparently, I look like Johnny Bravo, and you're Gandalf the Ginger.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah. Oh, do we have to tell you what we're sending you before we send it, or can it be a surprise?
No. You just get in touch with me so you can get a shipping address, and then then send it on.
Cool. So guys, do me a favor, send him shit to review because it'll be good fun.
Yeah.
Right. So we're at the end of the show. Thank you so much, Steve, for getting up early and gracious with your presence. I know you're a very busy man.
I pretend to be. I watch too much TV to actually claim that.
But make sure you're good to each other. Don't be a dick, and keep on vaping.